In the quiet town of Willowbrook, nestled between rolling green hills, there lived an old tabby cat named Whiskers. He was known for his gruff demeanor and solitary ways, spending most of his days lounging on the windowsill of Mrs. Thompson's bakery. He had no patience for the town's other animals, and certainly no interest in making friends. One rainy evening, as Whiskers curled up on his favorite cushion near the bakery's warm oven, he heard a faint rustling. His ears perked up, and his sharp eyes spotted a tiny mouse with golden fur scurrying across the floor. The little creature was drenched, shivering, and clearly desperate for shelter. Whiskers' instincts told him to chase the intruder away, but something in the mouse's frightened eyes made him pause. The mouse, noticing Whiskers' piercing gaze, froze. "Please don't eat me," he squeaked. Whiskers huffed. "I don't eat guests," he grumbled. "But this is my spot. What are you doing here?" I got caught in the rain. I had nowhere else to go," the mouse replied, hugging his tiny arms around himself. Whiskers sighed. "Fine. Stay by the oven, but don't scurry about too much. It's annoying." The mouse's eyes brightened. "Thank you, I'm Pip." That night, Pip stayed close to the warmth of the oven, and for the first time in a long while, Whiskers had company. The next morning, Pip made himself useful, nibbling up the bakery's crumbs before the humans could sweep them away. Mrs. Thompson was delighted by the cleaner floors, completely unaware of the tiny helper. Days turned into weeks, and an odd friendship blossomed between the grumpy cat and the cheerful mouse. Pip was full of stories about his adventures in the town, and despite himself, Whiskers found them amusing. In return, Whiskers taught Pip how to avoid the bakery's many dangers, from mousetraps to Mrs. Thompson's broom. One day a stray dog wandered into the bakery, sniffing hungrily. Pip squeaked in terror as the dog's sharp teeth gleamed in the dim light. Without thinking, Whiskers arched his back and let out a fierce hiss, leaping in front of Pip. The dog yelped and scampered out the door, tail tucked between its legs. Pip stared up at Whiskers, awed. "You saved me." Whiskers flicked his tail. "You're my guest," he muttered. "No one messes with my guest." From that day forward, Whiskers and Pip were inseparable. The unlikely pair became a fixture of the bakery. Whiskers keeping watch on the windowsill, Pip darting about, ensuring not a single crumb went to waste. The townsfolk often saw the old cat sitting peacefully, a tiny golden mouse perched beside him, and smiled at the unexpected friendship that had warmed even the gruffest of hearts. And so, in the quiet town of Willowbrook, an old tabby and a little mouse proved that friendship can bloom in the most unlikely of places.